about it was like the uniqueness, or not the uniqueness, they're trying to harness like the magic of the Lazarus pit to not fully bring somebody back, but at least, enough that they can control them a bit type thing. That was the one thing I liked about Task Force Z. But I don't know the story that leads up to it. Like, I don't know that I didn't realize Bane had died. I didn't realize Man Bat had died and all that stuff. I hadn't read.
Yes, you have to read that one.
So, but I like DC versus vampires. I was not expecting that. I was like reading it. I turned the page and I was like, oh snap. That was unexpected.
By the way,
kind of cool.
Just a viewer tip for when you guys watch V for Vendetta this Friday. Lego is actually mistaken. V for Vendetta is rated on Walmart.com and it has a 4.8.
Oh wow, that's pretty damn high.
Yes, it is.
That's
the trailer people love it.
People love it.
It's trailerific.
I did read Dark Knights of Steel today.
That's good, right?
It was pretty good. Yeah, I liked that. It was pretty good. I'll have to read the rest of it. I don't know. I'm just trying to see because we only have DC right now. Like, what number ones came up that I could actually read right now and get ahead of the game? But it's just those two, I think. Oh no, the Superman Batman Authority thing is out too. But I didn't read the first arc, so.
All right. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Talking Ish, where we talk shit. We have the Scotts filming on location.
Wait, where's Lego?
He had to leave. He doesn't sleep anymore.
Looks like Israel's in the chat. What's up, Israel?
Oh yeah, you have my phone. We're supposed to switch around.
Yeah, we just started, dude.
Oh well.
What's up, everybody?
Hey,
God,
God,
is that you?
You? Dang it, Sanchez, you scared me.
Is that when you met him that he scared you?
Every time, because he's not on the screen. And so whenever I didn't look down to see that he had been added because our screen only has 4 windows. And he's the 5th one on.
He's
When he starts
red-headed and he
talking,
has
I'm
a
like,
mullet.
scares me.
If you see the avatar, that's what he looks like.
Uh-huh.
He looks like a cross between Guy Gardner and Mr. Sinister.
No, that's not true. I have met him. I know that that's not true.
Jose, did you give Israel his comics?
No, I didn't. He was off today, and he went into the pharmacy to pick up some stuff, and I didn't know, so I didn't technically have a chance to give it to him. Oh shit, I'm live. Damn, that's a HIPAA violation.
They don't care about that
That's a
anymore.
HIPAA violation.
How was everyone's Halloween?
Non-existent.
It's kind of nice having like an apartment kind of in the tucked away where nobody wants to come up and see. They take all the kids to my dad's neighborhood.
Me too.
So it's kind of quiet. I got a lot of reading done. I finished my Northlanders Volume 1 by Brian Wood. And I started
That's a good one.
Thanos. It's the new trilogy that Jim Starlin and Alan Davis did. It's like siblings, it's legacy, it's something else. Basically, Thanos becomes the ultimate of everything. Like he sucks in all the power of like the living tribunal and eternity and infinity and Galactus and death, and there's a lot of time travel and it's really cool. I have to read the last part of it.
Oh, the one that's like a legacy revelation or something like that.
That's the first. So that's
Okay.
the first trilogy. This is the second trilogy, and there's supposed to be a third one coming out, but they're all done in those kind of hardcover original graphic novels. So
Yeah,
I
those are nice.
second one. I didn't realize there was a third one ahead of it until I was like halfway through the second book, and I looked and I turned the page. I was like, huh, shit, there's an advertisement for the other one. Damn it. But even though I didn't know what was going on, it was still like, you know, I wasn't lost in it. But the one
Like-
cool thing I have to say about it though, and I wish Marvel and DC would go back to doing that, but every time like a superhero or a character is like first introduced in the storyline, it's like, hey, Adam Warlock, and it says Adam Warlock, and it's like big font, and it's his font, and it's like his like stylized whatever every time, like, you know, the living like everybody had one. Like it was that, I forgot how cool that was. Like, oh, the Thanos of Titan, and it's his like the purple block letter.
the little box that would be above them, right? And it would give a little description real quick.
Well, no, those would feed the that would tell you, oh, this happened in type thing. This one, it'll be all the word bubbles and they're talking, and it's like, oh shit, Thanos the Mad Titan or Thanos of Titan has showed up. But when the first time they say his name in the comic or any of them, they always had like their name, like their special font with their name and their full name. And it's really cool. Like Adam Warlock's, it's yellow with the red outline on the outside, but the lettering would be like super big. So you're like, oh, there it is. And like the Living Tribunal had theirs, and it's Pip the something or other had his, like all of them did. And I forgot how cool that.
They used to do that a lot back in the 90s.
Yeah.
I remember like in Captain
Captain
America.
America.
Comics, you know,
It's like
someone
red,
will
white,
say, look,
blue.
there's Captain America. But when it says Captain America, it's like in red, white, and blue. Just
And
the
it's like,
letters.
and it's like, and it would be like the header on the comic itself. It would be in that font and in that style. That was like their thing. And it only
It's too
happens
bad you don't
the
have a
first
copy of it
time.
so you could show.
It only has it the first time that they're introduced in the comic, and then after that, it's just regular fonts and all that stuff. I forgot how cool that was. Nobody's that cool anymore.
So
That
how's the
Northlander
first-
one pretty cool. The Brian Woods book.
Yeah, Northlanders.
That's what I liked about Invincible, the animated show. Every time it was like, oh, my name is, and then boom, Invincible. That'd be like the opening header, like the opening credit thing. I thought that was a cool little homage to those comics.
Yeah.
It's my battery.
So how did the first week at the store go?
It went well. You know, people, the word of mouth is doing it. You know, we're getting more and more people coming in and oh, I'm glad you're open. We've been following you as you're opening, and you know, they pop in and look around and pick a few things up here and there off the new comic rack. You know, oh, I didn't know this came out. Everywhere I go, it's sold out. Well, welcome to the small sleeper store that nobody knows about. Now you do. Get your stuff here. No, it's good, and it's coming along. You know, we're getting things done, processing, just, you know, takes forever, but it's cool. Got another 100+ comics into the back issue boxes.
It's big. It's a big location.
Yeah, it'll be nice once like the inventory, like the bigger, you know, the store, like the toy side inventory stuff starts coming in. It'll fill out a little bit better. We'll move the H units are on wheels, so that's kind of nice. We'll be able to move those around and have that still there, and then still have a space for like processing that little table for the signing and stuff like that. We have room to grow, which is kind of cool. But we just now got the measurements done for the bins. We're getting the measurements done for the bins, and then because we're gonna design them a little bit. Well, you've heard me talk about it. We're gonna design them a little bit different. You know, the last row will be oversized for the magazine sized comics so that they have like their own little area. So we don't have to have like a box sitting outside somewhere for people trying to find like the Black Label stuff. And then we're gonna design a smaller section that's kid size for kid friendly books.
Nice.
So that the kids have
Nice.
their own little stuff and
That's dope.
parents don't have to worry about their kids seeing covers or things that they may not want them to see at the same time. It's at their level and they get to, you know, get used to looking what it means to look through a back issue bin and alphabetizing and finding the things that they like and stuff. So, but it'll be, like I said, it'll probably be probably knee high, like what you guys, you know, about that height. So we got to get a couple of little guys in here to measure them. Lucas is not a good way to measure because he's kind of tall for his age. He can almost look in the back issue bins already that we have set up. So, yeah. It's fun. It's cool. We're getting there.
So you want me to bring Grayson in is what you're saying, because you know my kid's small.
Yeah, bring Grayson in. Or you can bring in Asher.
Oh, there you go. See him just yank the books out of the.
Yeah, so it's gonna be nice when everything is settled and you know it fully looks like a store. Right now it's like in that middle phase, so it's cool. I like it. It's homey. It's comfortable. You can feel like you can
Yeah, I
come
was
in.
imagining that corner where we were sitting and talking. I'm like, dude, it'd be dope to put a nice little couch set right here, a coffee table, lay out the previews, have a little order sheet so people can come in. It's like, all right, look through the previews, put it on your order sheet, and then we'll go ahead and
Yeah. I mean, like I tell people, I don't care if you come in and spend all day in here, like looking around and talking and chit chatting. I mean, I do have to get some, you know, we have to get some processing and working done, but you know, at the same
What are
time,
you doing there? Oh, I'm trying to listen to Pantera.
yeah, you don't have to like, yeah, I'm not going to kick you out. I mean, just buy one comic. It's like a drink cover charge. Just buy one comic and you can spend all day long here. I don't care. You know, help us keep the lights on so that you have a place to hang out too and have fun and, you know, chit chat and stuff.
And if you want to listen to Slayer while you're looking, then
I don't know what you're talking about.
We don't have that kind of action here. Instead, what we have frequently is the Jaded Geek
Yeah,
to provide color commentary.
which is ironically, a lot of people recognize him.
well, everybody always remembers the villains.
That's right. That's right.
We're not going to call it. We're not going to call it heroes or villains. We're going to just call it the protagonist.
There you go.
A good guy or a bad guy.
I had somebody come up and say, "Hey, I was on the live, and Josh said that there was going to be a coin thing where I could put in a quarter and hear him rant, and I had my quarter, but he didn't rant."
That's right. We're gonna get one of those old Zoltar boxes, and we're just gonna put your ass in those.
all right, you guys ready for Josh? 'Cause I got a quarter here. Josh, tell us about ERISA. ERISA.
ERISA.
Uh-huh. The Employment Retirement Income Securities Act.
Are you talking about the article that was put up on comicsgate.org?
Yes, sir. The one you sent to us to review to speak about.
Yeah.
How many actually read it?
Yeah, I read it. I don't remember the ERISA part. What I remember is the
You read it
ESG
too.
part. Okay, so a lot of folks know that Comicsgate is kind of like an informal gathering of creators, both artists and writers that are kind of in rebellion against the major comic book companies, mainly along what seems to be, conservative versus liberal types of things. A lot of folks have noticed that Marvel and DC kind of lean pretty hard left these days, and Comicsgate is kind of trying to do the opposite. They say that they're not, but really, when you look at their content, it's mostly leaning in the other direction. And Van Sciver has proved that you can do that outside of the industry, because he's made himself fabulously wealthy off of a couple of very cringy comic books that he put out. But anyway, and as one might expect, Ethan likes to troll the other side, because the other side likes to freak out at a moment's notice. And an article was put up on comicsgate.org, and I don't know much about the website or who's running it specifically, but there was an article put up by Robert Romano on the 30th of October. And the title of it was "Ethan Van Sciver is Right. Federal and state governments fund and incentive," it should be incentivized, but it says incentive trillions of investments into woke left-wing corporations via ESG funds. And so I had to do a little research in addition to reading the article, just to get things settled in my mind. But the tweet that Ethan put up basically said that social justice warriors are acting panicky at my suggestion that there might be some kind of financial incentive in the form of a private or government grant of some kind for comic book publishers to race, sexuality, and gender swap characters in their comic books. He says, nothing to see here, I guess. So
Don't read the whole article.
no, I'm not going to read the whole article. I just wanted to get that tweet out there so people understood what Ethan was getting at and why people kind of responded to him, at least tried to respond to him in the negative. Well, this Robert Romano did some legwork. The article is rather long, but it's well worth reading. And he basically demonstrates that, we all know the classic term, get woke, go broke. So you put out these weirdo comic books about bizarre characters, or you destroy existing characters by doing the race or sexuality or gender swaps on them. And they're not popular. The fan base rebels against it. And everybody wonders, well, why do they do it if the fans hate it and there's not as much sales as there would be if you did something that was more traditional? And the answer is because there are large investment corporations that will put more money into your stock if you are pushing that kind of an agenda. They actually have a rating system called ESG guidelines, which has to do with environmental, social, and corporate governance. And that if you meet certain criteria, certain markers, these investment corporations will throw more money into your stocks, thus bolstering your company. So while they're not selling these woke comics nearly as much, what's happening is on the back end, they're receiving more investment when they do their earnings reports and basically report to them like, yeah, see, we're pushing forward these social justice markers by, making Superman gay, making Iceman gay, or, gender swapping Thor and Iron Man, or, doing things like this. They say, look, we're pushing forward the agenda. Then these investment corporations say, okay, we see that you're, making sure that you're pushing forward this idea. And so now we're going to invest more money into your stocks. So they're getting the money through a different means. And Ethan is the one who kind of like brought that to the forefront. And then this Robert Romano guy wrote this article that basically bolstered all of that. And before I turn it over for some discussion with you guys, I just want to say that this ESG stuff and a lot of the things that Romano talked about in his article are things that are going on in more than just the comic book industry or Hollywood or something like that. I work in the medical industry. I work in cancer research, and they're doing this stuff in my company too. The ESG goals are something that my leadership talks about. They have these employee resource groups that are always for these really fringy ideas, and they want to encourage you to participate and to be allies. And it's a very dystopian sort of situation that's taking place. And so what I'm saying is that what Romano writes about, in addition to him kind of verifying from the reports that these companies have, like what they're reporting on, and verifying the investments that are going into the comic book companies, I'm also seeing the same types of things happening in my own company, which kind of, leads you to the conclusion that it's a much larger problem than simply what we're seeing in comic books. And for what it's worth, on the rant side of things, this is why we're seeing, and I've mentioned this before, the same impulse that destroys our comic superheroes or twists them into some new variation is the same thing that causes us to take down statues to the founders all across the country and then melt them down and turn them into like a George Floyd statue or something like this. It's the same impulse that causes both of these things to take place. And so it's, once again, what is taking place in pop culture is just a reflection of what's taking place in the rest of our society.
So we just watched V for Vendetta, and it seemed like that was more, they had the censorship going on there, right? But it seemed like they were taking right-wing totalitarianism in that one, in the sense of the anti-gay side tangent story within the story.
Sure.
What similarities do you guys, or could you draw with this? Because we do want people to have representation, and we want everybody to be able to have their voice be heard, but where do you draw the line with how do you have everybody's voice in under the guise of inclusion, and then don't let the comics guys talk, the Comicsgate guys have a seat at the table to talk about what's going on by being uninclusive with them?
Yeah. Well, so part of what you have to understand is that when words like diversity and inclusion are used, that they're not defined in the way that we would understand it. So I think most of us, if we think about diversity, what we're thinking
That's
about
funny, Sanchez.
Is that you're going into a situation or a place, and the workforce is diverse in the sense that you kind of have, men and women, and you have people from different cultures and racial backgrounds and that kind of thing. But it's an organic sort of situation. And it's the same thing with inclusion. We think that, we're including all of the ideas that kind of help build the company or build the product line that we're working toward. But that's not what's meant by diversity inclusion. What's meant instead is the elevation of certain cultures or ethnicities or genders or sexual orientations above everything else. So the inclusion is not a natural sort of thing where people come together and work toward a common goal. Instead, the common goal is kind of a side thing, and you force these quote unquote underrepresented groups into the situation. So we have to be careful to understand that the language is not the same, even though the words are. When years ago, when I dealt with some of the pseudo-Christian religions that are out there, like Mormonism and Jehovah's Witnesses, one of the obstacles that I had to overcome was that they use a lot of terminology that I would use as a Christian. They use similar words like Jesus or resurrection or things like this, but they mean something different. The words are invested with different meaning. And it's the same situation here, that when you're talking about ESG goals, words like diversity and inclusion don't mean what we think it does. So when they say, well, don't you want a diverse workplace? Don't you want to, include people? And our natural reaction is to go, well, of course I do, rather than asking, well, what do you mean by that? And so when you see that they're excluding,
they've done a really good job co-opting their language for sure. I think that's the very first step of doing these things. Right. I think you did a good job laying it out there for us to discuss, Josh. Okay. I am interested in right off the bat hearing from Jose on this. Unless he's Xanadu on us. Oh, he's there.
Well, I'm right there with you. I've always been for representation and all that stuff, but it's like you said, just to be done organically. Just because I'm Mexican doesn't mean I want a Mexican superhero thrown at me just out of nowhere. I want the story to make sense. And when you were talking about gender swapping characters, I thought that when Jason Aaron wrote Thor and Jane Foster had cancer and then she was worthy and she became Thor, I thought that was a really cool and organic way of it happening. I'm just trying to think of another story where it was just kind of thrown at us like, oh, what? Like that was random out of nowhere.
Iceman?
That was one of them, yeah. But even Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider, that one was done pretty organically. And I like how they did that. But it's tough. I think it's, I mean, we want to say that comics have always been pretty inclusive, but as I was having that conversation with you guys on Friday, that right now my big thing is trying to collect controversial stuff in comics. Comics has had controversy when it comes to race and genders and stuff like that. So it's not without its fault. As far as where we are now, if a corporation is pushing and investing in your company, I want to just question, like, how did we get here? Like, why is it necessary for a company to have to take money and to go that way? Like how desperate are you? And what were the choices at the executive level that those execs did to need to now rely on investors that have those kinds of agendas? It's like, it's easy to say, oh, we have these investor groups that are trying to push this woke agenda. But to me, it's always kind of been like, well, what the hell did the business do to get itself in that position? Because at some point you have to have responsibility over your company. My dad's a business owner. He runs it the way he wants to run it. He does, he charges the way he wants to charge. He does the work the way he wants to do it. So it just makes me question, like, what were the business's decisions at that level that led to where we are now, like needing to take money to push this kind of agenda? So you have to take some responsibility there. And I think it's an easy way for them to say, oh, well, Marvel's now getting all this money. And well, that's cool, but who the hell are the heads at Marvel, and what bullshit decisions did they make to now have to need this money to prevent themselves from going bankrupt? Well, number one, they didn't give a lot of creative liberties to their creators. They wanted to push certain stupid story arcs that were 12 books long, and you needed 17 tie-ins for it to make sense, as opposed to just letting them write. Like now, we have creators like Peach Momoko doing a Japanese style story that a lot of people are digging. But is it too little, too late? And those are the things. Like, to me, it's always like, where's the responsibility here? It's cool and I feel like them pointing that out, it's like, yeah, that's cool. I see that happening, but
it's legit. It's organic too. It's not like, it doesn't feel like it's being crammed down your throat. Mm-hmm. It's like it's being done for you and not to you. Mm-hmm. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, and like I said, but it goes back to the companies needing to take that money. It's like, so where does the buck stop? Like, who's gonna finally own up to make the decision? Like, say, hey, I'm the owner of this company, and I effed up, I goofed. So now I have to rely on pushing this agenda so that my company doesn't go under. So then you have two options: stick to your guns and let the company go down, and you have to lay off all of these people, or shoot, now I have to take money from this person because it's the same thing like you see on Wall Street. The bankers and when the housing market crashed, they were doing shit that they knew they weren't supposed to be doing. And they never took responsibility. Instead, they took the bailouts. People might be saying, well, that's different. No, it's not. Like, if you have a scapegoat, if you have a way out, you're not going to assume any responsibility. You're just going to keep doing it. So now what? We're once again into the same thing. people are saying that we're in a housing bubble again, that this thing's going to pop. And only now you're talking even more money. And it's like, well, where the hell does the buck stop and where does the responsibility start? And that's my thing. It's like, if they have this woke agenda, well, what the hell, what decisions did you make as a company owner or as the board to now need to take this money? It's like, you can't just, and us as the consumers, we're discussing it and that's cool. But I'm more interested in seeing, well, you know, open ledger, let's see. Where was this money going? Because if you have this many creators complaining, I'm pretty sure it wasn't going to them. So then what were you doing with that money? So, and yeah, that's just, every time I hear stuff like that, that's where my train, like, you know me, guys, I follow the money. So it's like, and I'm all for one. I'm the type of person, I'm the type of man that will take responsibility when he's goofed. And I think people know me, like, if I mess up, I will own up to it and I will do whatever I have to do to right the wrong. But I feel like so many times companies don't do that. They don't believe in that anymore. And that's really disappointing. It's like, just own up to it. If you made a mistake and you don't know how to manage the capital and give the creators liberty, then just own up and say, you know what, maybe I'm not the right person for the job, as opposed to continuing to push a company in the wrong direction to where now you're forced and you're being accused by some of your creators that you're pushing an agenda and forcing something on people. And if the paper trail's true, then you have no one else to blame but yourself. It's a tough thing to swallow. And I think, but like with me, like, I don't dwell so much. It's like, oh, they're pushing this sort of woke agenda. I'm like, yeah, it sucks. I mean, and some of it is cool, some of it is not. But at the end of the day, I'm going to take my money and go buy something that I like. And the beautiful thing about comics is that it's such a long and huge history that I'm collecting controversial stuff right now. Next month, I might have a bug to collect covers that got banned or something. I'm huge right now to Milo Manara. Those things are hard to find. And that's what's beautiful about.
So doesn't this intersect that though? Doesn't this, like, that would be saying that the power of the dollar is going to manage this situation? And if they keep on putting out shitty stuff, that they're going to go out under for it. But if the government's propping them up and supplying the money on the back end for them to keep on doing this shit, you think it might eventually, if we're just saturated with this stuff, a generation coming up with only this type of material might not know better and then decide to like it?
But that's like saying you send your kids to school and it's the school's responsibility to teach them everything. It's like at some point they come home. You're as a parent, you're also in charge of giving them a certain, teaching them certain things. And it's like, my kids, yeah, okay, if that's what you're being shown at school, but let me show you an alternative. And it's like, let them, eventually they're going to be adults. They have to make their own decisions. It's like, we didn't look at as a teenager, you rebelled against your parents over everything. And eventually you came around and you had your moments of your own waking up, like, oh, this is what I like. This is me. This is my personality. And as a parent, it's like, don't try to push anything on them. Instead, be the voice that's like, you know what, you can come to me with anything. This is what I like. Doesn't necessarily have to be what you like. I'm not going to push this on you, because when you push something on people, it's not always received. And it's not, and it's like right now, Josh is being pushed a certain type of agenda that he doesn't agree with. Of course, he's not taking it well. Kids are the same way, and we have to be the teachers at some point. Like, we need to be the ones. And you're right. And again, I refer back to the long history of comics. My kids are going to read Mouse. My kids are going to read Dark Knight Returns. My kids are going to read Watchmen, and all the ones that shook 86 and made comics what they are today. And then I'm going to go back and show them some of the older stuff. I'm collecting comic covers with like the Ku Klux Klan on it. I'm collecting stuff that had Nazi stuff on the front. Why? Because that's an important piece of history. And it's like at one point in my life, I'm going to have to teach the next generation, this is how comics were. This is what happened during comics. This is something cool. And just know that there's more to what you're being shown today. And that's why,
are you sure you don't want to show your kids the two best new characters in DC ever, Snowflake and Safe Space right here? Because look at this picture, brother. Woo, baby! This is we're going to the next generation.
You know what though? Say what you will, I would collect that and CGC it, because that's going to be a part of history later on. Kal-El number 5 is already reportedly breaking sales. Like it's already going into a third printing
Jose,
for local comic
everything
shop day.
breaks sales at the beginning, and then you forget about it the next year. Just like Joker's daughter, just like every other big characters.
I wish
They're
Safe
reprinting
Space. I wish
the-
Safe Space had a bigger bulge.
Yeah,
Then
He,
it would
he
be
wouldn't be
safe.
safe then.
I think Snowflake has. She has. I think. Or I'm sorry. I'm describing her gender, but Safe Space or no Snowflake looks like it has bigger in my opinion. But that's just me.
Who made this? Did you-
It's the this is the new
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 Warriors.
Warriors for DC,
It got
and this
canceled.
is only 2 people. There's like I think a Mexican dude. I think he's a Mexican or Indian dude. One of those
Let me
two.
find the whole.
And
the
then,
whole
Is his name Weed Whacker?
But they got those things canceled. That comic isn't coming out. They're like, they got
Damn.
Well,
Oh,
you
they
should.
already scrapped it?
It's not coming
They
out.
already scrapped it?
Yeah.
Damn.
They
I was
made
looking forward
the,
to reading it.
you saw
I
the
was gonna
videos. They made
say,
the guy was so proud of making these characters, and DC made like this whole video of all the new warriors, and they're coming out, and this is Safe Space, and this is a Snowflake, and
Well, the guy that created it did it because Night Thrasher scared him.
Here it comes.
So
yeah,
he had
that's
to
true.
create-
Night Trash was scared him. I was like,
Night
what?
Thrasher scared him, and so he's like, "Oh, that guy was scary." So he decided to create
He's
his
off.
own
Night Trasher scared me. He's
group.
black. That black man scared me.
But yeah, but that
He's the leader of the
comic's
team.
already been scrapped.
Aw,
They're not
man,
doing
that-
that one.
That's disappointing.
Trailblazer. That's the
Yeah,
leader.
Trailblazer.
One of them.
Totally is a trailblazer for sure.
Look,
Well, the other
look at
thing DC is doing is that they're reprinting all of the Son of Kal-El issues.
right there, the one on the
now.
right, right next to
The
Trailblazer,
green?
the green
They're
one.
going
Cyclops.
third printing.
That's Cyclops.
El Jardinero. That's what he's called. El Jardinero, the gardener. That's what he's called, the gardener.
But
You know-
they're printing him with the gay,
Yeah.
with the gay pride logo on it. The pride.
He's
logo.
he's a gay Mexican gardener during the daytime, but at nighttime he's a gay Mexican gardener superhero though.
Fuck up.
You know,
Stupid son of a bitch.
it's really hard to offend me, but I guess I'm offended.
See, the thing
You have
Yeah,
to think about it
yeah,
first, though. You're like, am I?
Apa, tenemos una superhero.
It's like what's this weird feeling in my stomach? Is that me being offended? Or is that heartburn? Because I've never had heartburn in my life, and I'm having it right now.
Oh shit.
I'm just saying. I mean, the guy was scared of Night Trasher for fuck's sake. Come on,
Yeah.
come on.
So the thing is though, is that because they're getting funded outside of the consumer circle,
Dude, the
Then-
government and companies have been in bed for the last few years now.
right? But my thing is so what this means though is that they don't care what kind of stories they tell, as long as they're checking those boxes for the investors. And that's why, we've had this spate over the last, better part of a decade of like comic creators that just don't give a damn about the fans at all. They disparage the fans. They ignore the fans. They mock the fans. This is like a repeated cycle, particularly with the big two, that keeps going on. And now we understand why. It's like, how can you hire comic writers and comic artists that hate the fans in this way and basically tell you things like, I'm going to write you something and you're going to like it and I don't care. And this is why, because they're getting funded on the back end. They can hire these kinds of people to do these kinds of stories without any concern for what we might think, because they're already getting the money.
This is the he's green, so it's green equals grass. So El Jardinero, all up on this DC thing. You know what I'm saying? Whoa.
It says screen time right there.
Oh, I'm
Where does
sorry.
it say
I thought
jardinero?
I thought it was a gardener in Spanish. I'm sorry about that.
You don't know how to speak Spanish. He's like, it says jardinero. I'm like, no, fool, it says screen time. Man, they spell gardener funny.
So he has an
Spanish.
iPad striped across his face.
Oh, these are. Oh my god.
In the chat, we got spam with more pornography.
I saw that. I was like, what is this?
That's awesome.
Well, the porn people like us apparently.
They like the jardinero.
Why don't you guys get woke and get some of that investor money, you porn guys?
They had believe it or not, though, they do have a great idea for El Jardinero in the up and coming porn video. The gardener is gonna have an amazing scene. Watch.
And pull out that.
You know
weed
what?
whacker.
Let me tell you though. This weekend, yesterday especially, no, Saturday and Sunday both. Tell you about Mexican superhero. True story, right? We're cleaning this house up. We got this big ass bin. It's like one of those shipping containers with the top cut off. The city drops, and we're cleaning and we're doing stuff. And Mexicans cats pull up with their truck, the scrap metal guys, and they fill up 3 loads of stuff and they take it out of there. Just the only pay that they needed was to get the money from the scrap metal, and there was quite a bit of it. So if they weren't there doing that of their own volition, then we would have still only been like a third of the way through with what we did get done. So, you know,
So basically, you're saying
heroes.
those Mexicans are hard workers, huh?
We salute
Mr.
you.
Mexicans, scrap metal driver.
Collectors.
There's
Here's
some money there
you.
if you know what to pick up. Did they have the little magnet where they're using the magnet to test the scrap metal?
No, man, these guys weren't even on that level.
No.
These guys
They
were
were-
the backup.
They were knocking on the metal. Está bien.
They just look at it and know.
Yeah, they
there
do.
was a lot of metal, dude. These guys probably aren't gonna have to work for 2 months. There was 7 engine blocks, pistons in the grass, just like I don't know. It was.
Yeah, if
It
they're
was like a
aluminum,
hoarder's
they're aluminum, they get paid by the pound. Because I know my dad and I once we did a cleanup job, and my dad felt like he was undercharging the guy, and so he was like, "Whatever." We followed through, we did the job, and then the guy comes out the last second and says, "Oh, I need this metal stuff taken out of here too," and we did it. It turns out it was all aluminum. So my dad and we loaded, and it was a bitch, dude, and it was a lot of work. It was heavy. We had to be careful because it was going to cut up our hands. But in the end, when we went in and loaded it, we ended up getting like almost $600 from it. So it was a really positive. We never realized how much aluminum at that time was worth. So it was pretty cool.
Right now, cardboard is just as pricey as aluminum.
Yeah, it is.
The price of cardboard recycling and stuff has gone up. I'm thinking
Yeah.
to myself, damn, dude, like each week we could probably pay for all of our comics, our invoice each week, just based off the cardboard.
Right.
Should.
Yeah, but yeah, man, who knows where we're back to that whole article thing. Who knows?
When
where
I was
that's gonna
first
end.
at GM at the restaurant, we got our truck shipment in, and I'm like, this is my chance to save the world, man. And I got all the cardboard from our shipment and drove it to the place, singing my songs of Dr. Green Thumb and all that kind of good stuff. And I got 34 cents. And I was like, fuck the earth. I ain't never doing this again. The shit took
Are you
me
sure that
extra
wasn't
time and
newspaper?
energy.
That's newspaper, dude.
No, man, it was cardboard. It was cardboard in like the 90s.
It was like Principal Skinner, dude. He was like, "What? That doesn't even cover the cost to go get the twine to tie up the board." Well, it sounds like you're working for your car, man. Simplify.
What about when Homer and Bart take the grease from Willie? My retirement fund.
My retirement grease.
That's right.
And he's like, yeah, but all that bacon. And he's like, all right, I got 25 cents. Yeah, but all that bacon costs $20. Yeah, but your mom paid for it. But doesn't she get her money from you? And I get my money from Greece. What's the problem?
I'll be back.
Over logic.
Right.
The best kind of logic.
So going back to the article one more time.
Yeah.
This is why I think, even if you don't agree with some aspects of what Comicsgate is doing, or maybe the personalities of the guys involved, the one thing that you can say about them is that they're actually trying to please their customers. They're actually concerned about doing something that's quality, that people will want to buy, that they'll want to invest their hard-earned dollars in. Whereas the big two are in a position where they don't care about you at all.
But
If you
earlier
get
you
a
said,
good
But they're cutting out a very important part and aspect of the comic book community. And it's something that allowed them to be a fan of the comic book community. And that is the comic book store.
I understand.
They're effing me over, not because they're not putting out quality product, but because they refuse to work with the stores to help. And the stores are also part of this gatekeeping process.
Right.
The stores are supposed to be able to, yes, get the stuff into the hands of the consumers and make sure that people understand history. When people come in and start talking about stuff, I always refer to, oh, what do you like to read? And I always talk about that kind of stuff. It's my job to know those things and to be able to talk to people about those things. And part of what I don't like about Comicsgate is that they're eliminating that aspect and that important community aspect of these things. These guys can sell on Kickstarter and Indiegogo and all that bullshit and get it right to the people. The problem is that it eliminates the community aspect of it.
Right.
And there is a big community, and talking to your people via, articles and your own social media pages and stuff like that only gets you so far. People want to see you. People want to meet the creators. People want to do these things, but they're not allowing people they're not helping facilitate the community aspect of it.
Right.
Yeah, and they're getting
They're
paid
throwing the baby
regardless.
out with the bathwater, and they're being dicks about it, and it really pisses me off.
And
Sorry.
they get paid.
Liz,
for,
you
they get
hit it.
paid for all that website traction and all that too.
Yeah.
They're getting paid through all that, so they don't even need you guys really, and they're still getting paid regardless of how they're.
I understand. I understand that, but they want to tout like they're the biggest thing since sliced bread for the comic community, and they really aren't doing anything for the community. There's no community in what they're doing.
Yeah, because they're still just filling their own pockets. They don't care about the
Exactly.
community. It makes
the
it
next-
sound like they're there for the people, but at the end of the day, it's for their own pockets. It's just like the big
They're
two.
the next corporation.
So-
that's
yeah.
ready to
So
pull themselves up.
let me play devil's advocate really quick on that. Is that the intention of what they're doing, to just make money and screw over comic shops, or is that as a consequence of rebelling against the mainstream and being canceled?
I think it's a little bit of both, honestly. I think at the beginning, it might have been they needed the money and the funding to get their projects up and going and And when they realized how much they were making, then they're like, fuck the comic book stuff. Because when was the last time you saw any of these guys show up at a convention or at a comic book signing? You really haven't, because they don't need to. Because they're making their money. They don't need to be out there and sign, because now you can pay them more to pre-sign your shit for you and get it to your hands when it comes out. There's no need to meet them because they're getting all the love and the accolades through their websites and through their social media platforms. They're getting all those hearts in the chats, and they're getting all those likes and thumbs up, and they're getting all the, ass kissing praises that they don't need to see that shit in person anymore. So they're getting that they need, and they're getting the money they need. They don't need this. They don't need the brick and mortar. But what they forget is the brick and mortar is what started their asses to begin with. And they've gotten too big for their britches. And that's what's upsetting to me.
No, so this is one of the areas where I think that there's a part of me that disagrees, because you can't discount the fact that one of the things that's put us in this situation is how much the stores have simply backed the big companies and really haven't given the time of day to the smaller creators over time. So part of what's going on with Comicsgate is them abandoning the stores that abandoned them.
I cry bullshit on that too. And the reason why I cry bullshit on that is because there are plenty of stores out there that don't deal with the new shit because they know the new shit is garbage. And they're dealing only with the back issues. They're dealing with the Silver Age. They're dealing with kind of like that Bronze Age, up through like the sort of mid 90s stuff, which is ironic because that's where they came out of. And that's the art they're trying to get back to. That's the community they're trying to remember and bring back and the nostalgia for it. But they're eliminating the fact that they went to those stores. They picked up their comic books at Circle K's and 7-Elevens and spinner racks in the middle of nowheres. And they're taking that away from the current community. They're not being they're taking that aspect of it out. But they want to say that they're part of the community. They want to say that they're saving and doing things.
I don't think what you're saying isn't true. I don't think that what you're saying isn't true, but I think that it's more of a collateral damage than it is an intended damage. And this point could probably be communicated to those people better.
I think, like I said at the beginning, I think that's
everybody's
true.
also not been out for 2 years.
I think now
nobody's been out doing signings. Really,
okay. I'll grant you that, but they're not. You're not seeing them be the front runners to get out there to the community again. They want to be like this charge ahead with the flag, going ahead of everybody and being the leaders of the community, and they're not doing it. They're still in their little hobbit holes, and they're still doing their shit on social media. They're still doing their, look what's coming out, and variant chromium covers and stuff like that. And they're not going out to the store. They're not making themselves available to the stores. Some of the people I've contacted to say, hey, I'm interested. I like the story. I'm interested in carrying it in my store. What can you do to help me get that out there to a market that you may not be part of, because people don't have Kickstarter, they don't have Indiegogo, or when the time, it's too much, or they, whatever. How do you help me get that out there too, to people who don't? And they're just like, well, if it gets funded, maybe we can talk about it later. Or maybe, and I understand that, okay, if it doesn't get funded, I understand that, but it's like, I'll help you fund this if you're able to give me something like a dealer's thing, or, I'm not asking anything for free. I'm asking to be able to make a little bit to keep my lights on, but at the same time, be able to sell it to a wider audience than the people that follow on Kickstarter and Indiegogo. And they're not willing to do that.
I'm not disagreeing with that point at all whatsoever. I just think that you're kind of throwing out the baby with the bathwater. I don't think the intent was, it's like I said, it's a collateral damage thing. And I think that some of these guys, it's only been in the last 2 years that they've got on that track, on board with that. So and there's probably some people who are in that boat, but there's other people who are not in that boat that if the doors weren't locked, they would be out doing signings, and there's probably, I would say there's probably more people that are scared. But I don't think that the Comicsgate guys are afraid to go out and do signings because of COVID. I think it's the people who created Safe Space and Snowflake that are afraid to go out and do signings. But I don't disagree.
LA Comic-Con. I don't see any of their names at.
We haven't seen any names at Comic-Con.
I don't see.
I saw Dan. I saw Frega at the Masters of the Universe con, the one I brought you all those posters for, after he announced he was going to be in Comicsgate, I saw him at the convention with Tim Seeley.
Sure, but that was when the conventions were still going on. Now that everything's opening up, I don't see their names anywhere. And I'm not.
I haven't
You know
seen
what?
any names, to be honest.
backtrack. Let me
named
quantify my-
everybody. LA Comic Con's named a bunch of people. Everybody's naming off people, and those dudes aren't in any of those names. So I don't know what you're saying. That you
None
don't
of the
see
comic
names.
skates are guys.
I'm not looking for names, to be honest. What about is
They're
Art
dropping-
Bear out
they're-
there?
They're dropping them out. Who?
Are they getting invited?
I don't know, dude. They're being announced though.
I'm
What I'm
sure-
saying is that some of them are getting locked out of those things too, where it's like if you're going to have this creator be, God, I wish I could remember the name specifically, but there was a right-leaning comic creator in Europe who wanted to do a convention, and people threatened to boycott the convention if they let them to go inside of there to be part of.
Was that Frank Miller?
Well, I was gonna say, wasn't that Frank Miller?
That was-
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Hey,
And he
He got
got announced at LA Comic Con.
he'll be at LA Comic Con, but he was canceled out of the UK appearance because somebody there said that they didn't feel safe that the man who wrote this,
Holy Terror.
Holy Terror.
Holy Terror, and she didn't
That's
feel
right. That's
safe
right. When I bought
being
Holy
there, the
Terror. Hey,
Muslim
thanks for
woman.
heads up on that one. I got it for $10.
I mean, let me, you're right. I get a little passionate about these things. So I'm not saying.
You're not wrong.
I'm not
Yeah,
saying
you're not
everybody.
wrong. There's totally validity to what you say. I just want to
There's
think
a
that
lot
it's
of them that are
you know,
out there.
Hey, do you have the wheel? So we could put names of the movies that we're gonna watch next week.
Sorry. I forgot to put my soapbox away.
I got
yeah,
Liz.
actually it's over here.
You got her. You got her.
Where's my
Like,
glass? Where's my
Hey,
glass?
I like this. That's why look. I was quiet
Oh,
the whole
there's
time. I
Steve.
was just listening to. I was listening to Liz. I was like, "Go, girl, do your thing." I was like, "Damn."
Because she's in the nitty gritty. Like we're the outsiders looking in. Yeah, we're
That's
the
that's why I
consumers, but
stood
she's the
quiet
one-
because she knows
Yeah.
what's going on.
Yeah. That's why
I
I
had
respect.
nothing to
Hey,
say on this. Like this is for me. Like you said, Jose. We're just the outside buyers. Like we don't know the daily routine of the daily struggle of an actual owner. So I know what Nate's talking about. I know what I understand what he's saying, but I'm glad to hear from someone that's actually in the business and how that affects. So that's
Yeah,
why I
like-
said quiet the whole time.
John said if they cared about the community, they'd try to be a part of the community any way they can instead of limiting it.
Right. So, but now,
Like Liz is saying, they're hiding in their hobbit holes and just writing all this shit and saying like, look at this, and they're so quick to point stuff out, but they're not actually out here.
right. So,
They're helping the comic stores.
how do we solve the problem then that the comic book stores are all kind of forced into a position where they're in bed with the woke crowd, right?
There's
They don't
comic
have.
stores that carry non-published books that creators bring to them. I've seen those in multiple books. Like, oh, hey,
Yeah.
look, this is one of our creators.
Yeah, but
area.
I think there's also a group of people that will blackball that comic shop that will take care of any Comicsgate's books. I mean, shoot, look at Tom King. He was talking mad shit about Jay Lee, which he did a cover with he did a cover for that turtle book, that frog book, and Cyber Frog, and he did a cover. Jay Lee is one of the nicest, quietest guys you've ever met in this damn industry. And Tom King, literally, without knowing any specifics, he only knew that he did a cover, started talking mad shit about him on Twitter. And next thing you know, everybody, all the woke society started turning on the flames and let's go get him. And next thing you know, 2 days later, here comes Tom King with his fucking tail between his legs, apologizing to Jay Lee because he just jumped the gun. But I mean, if I understand both sides, because if you start leaning towards the Comic Gates guys, you start getting blackballed. And
Yeah.
and
That's-
if you
It's something
if
we have
you-
to balance.
and it's not, yeah, it's there, and there is no balance right now. There isn't. It's just like how our politics is. There's no balance. There's no, we people can't talk to each other. That's a problem. There's no communication between everybody. People just wants to be right. They can't be wrong. And so it's with comics, with everything right now. That's the way it is in life right now.
And I think it's still probably fairly new. I would say that it could be malicious. I'm not going to talk about anybody's intent, but I would lean on the at least the dudes that I know who roll in that circle with those people are not bad guys. Art the Bear is a cool dude. I met him many times.
Yeah.
Dan Fraga is a cool dude. I don't think they're trying to shit on fans by going Comic-Gate. I think they're just trying to stand up for some principles they believe in. And there's probably, this is the original entryway into that alley, and it's not perfect yet, and unintended consequence might be not being able to reach the comic stores. And it's probably a thing that they need to work on. Please go ahead.
There is a way around it, and I've seen this done when I buy some of the board games that I get, where there's an option that if you're a retailer, they sell you retailer copies. Then, and only retailers, they bet you have to send in your retailer's license and stuff like that. So you're not some like schlub that's just trying to get like discounts and bonuses and this and that and the other. They have those options to be able to do that, because I've seen it with other Kickstarter is primarily where I'm at when I buy stuff. And they make those things available for dealers. When I go to these guys' particular listings for their comics, they don't have that option at all. It's not something that they're even considering. It's not something that they have available. And
how do you know they're not considering it? Just because they don't have it, does that necessitate them not considering it?
I think
well, Nate, they've been doing it for a long time already, Nate. So I would think
for that, you can set it up to where they can say, if you provide your retailer's license, you can back this project and you can get copies for your store. I see it with the game.
I'm going to make a clip show. I'm going to pull a clip of this portion of our discussion out, and I'm going to make a clip show of it, and I'm going to send it to some people who I know in that group and see what they have to say about it, if anything.
Yeah, I mean,
because if you see other Kickstarters, they, like how Liz said, they've had portions of it for actual retailers. Like because they want to promote their book, not just straight to the people, but also to the retailers to help them out. And I mean, come on, what's the guy's name from Cyberfrog? He's been doing it for such a long time. I mean,
he's got
there's no way he has an excuse saying that, oh, I forgot to do this for the retailers. I mean, it's been for a long time. Let's get real.
I'm just kind of surprised that there haven't been any retailers that have like tried to reach out to him directly and say, hey, can we at least talk about this? Is there, let's get together and like try to reach some kind of a consensus on where this is, because I don't know if you guys noticed, but a couple of weeks ago, Ethan had a whole segment on the Daily Wire with Ben Shapiro. So now his exposure is going to be to like the normie market, and now he's becoming part of the overarching culture war, which means that he's going to get a lot more investment into his product, and there's a potential that he's going to really become a valuable commodity. And it's a shame that the brick and mortar stores can't be a part of that process. So it seems to me like there needs to be some kind of an overture, some kind of a diplomatic outreach to people like Ethan or what's his name, Richard Meyer, or some of the other older Comicsgate guys to say, hey, look, we want to support what you're doing, but we don't know how to do that outside of just being a customer ourselves. You know,
and yeah, sorry. And like I said, in my ranting and raving, I always say all and they and them and lump everybody in it like everybody else does with other stuff. And there may be people out there or in that group that can make those things available or work. Cause like Dan did that, was it Doodle a Day book or something like that he did, or
The Grave.
yeah, and we got copies here at the store, and we were able to get copies for that. So you know, I don't want to like I said, I do the thing that I yell at Josh for. You always say oh, and you always say never, and you always, you know what I mean. So I'm sure there are some that will do that. That
Only the Sith dealing absolutes.
Not the ones.
Notice that I'm not objecting though.
But not the ones that I've generally seen. I think the Dan Fraga book, I can't remember how we ordered it, but we got copies for the store somehow back in the day. And when it came out, and it wasn't at full retail. So, or maybe we did just order it off of Amazon and just use the Amazon's discount and sell it full price.
No, you guys, I think it was in previews.
And that could be, but you know, we made sure that we got copies of it. Cause you know, I don't know if he remembers me, but I remember Dan Fraga back in the Extreme days when they used to come into Mile High Comics, and, you know, he seemed like a cool guy and seems legit. And I don't mind, you know, I want to help back these products and projects, but they're making it very difficult to do. And it's unfortunate. Okay, now I'm done. What movies are we watching? And whose week is this?
Israel threw out 7. If you want to put that on the wheel.
Ooh.
Whose week is it?
Which 7 are they?
It's Jose's week.
So throw 7. Hey, let's also throw up Fight Club.
Let's throw up 12 Monkeys.
12 Monkeys. Israel also picked Shrek. Come on, donkey.
Yes, Shrek.
Hey, come on, Shrek. Oh, you don't like Shrek? All right, man.
Guys, get out of here. That's right. It's going to be all animated when I pick.
Yo.
Who was it? A muffin man.
Can I have National Treasure on that one, please?
National Treasure?
Wait.
Yeah.
Since Jose is there, doesn't he get to put 8 in?
Jose, pick your 8.
All right.
Already picked 6.
All right. Let's do. Oh boy.
Old
You didn't
Yeller?
write that down?
I didn't grab my list.
Step Brothers.
Which movies
Step
have you
Brother?
not seen?
What movies have I not seen?
Have you seen Step Brothers?
Yes, I have.
Is that old enough?
Have you seen Talladega Nights?
I have not. Put on tell that one.
Talladega Nights.
Is that old? Hey, is that old enough?
Of course. 2008, dude.
What about Step Brothers?
That's also as old.
What else, Jose?
They're all early 2000s. Have you seen Old School, Jose?
No.
Oh, dude.
Old
Come
school.
on, bro.
Old school. I'm in for old school.
I'm in for old school.
What is it? The Naked Run?
Yeah, we're going streaking in the squad.
Oh,
You're my
I've never
boy,
seen Elf.
Blue.
Earmuffs.
I've never seen Elf either.
What?
For Christmas on that one.
Yeah.
There's never going to be an Elf 2. There just won't ever be an Elf 2.
Did you ever
Yeah.
see Zoolander?
Which one?
Zoolander?
No, which one's that one?
Oh, God damn it.
Yes.
Add Zoolander on there.
Oh, man.
Put Zoolander on the
God,
list.
I hate that.
Zoolander, bro.
Yeah.
You're gonna if that movie gets picked, you want to
Have
see.
you watched Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
Oh,
Jose?
come on, that's
Yeah, I
garbage.
have.
Yes.
Have you seen Old Yeller?
Yes.
Oh.
I don't think you've seen Old Yeller, Jose.
I've seen Old Yeller. I don't want to watch it.
I'm gonna pick that 8 times next time.
So sad. Take it 8 times. I guess you can do that.
What? No,
To guarantee your movie gets picked.
no.
Have you
You
seen
get a
Akira?
50-50. We've done Akira already. He chose
did?
it.
Yeah. That's right. What did we pick that?
Which one?
Let's
Oh,
do
speaking of Sanchez, do you need this cover? It's an Akira cover from this week.
Yes.
Got it.
Who's that?
It's for Static number 4.
I'll take it.
I love
I love Akira.
I just start selling comics to
We've
everybody.
got the Brave Little Toaster from 1904 comics. Is that just a 10-minute cartoon?
The movie.
What?
It's like they turned it into a movie series too. It's like Iron Giant.
Oh, I love Iron Giant.
Have you seen Super Troopers?
Oh.
Oh yeah,
I know
add
what you're
Super
talking about,
Troopers.
What about Beer League?
Meow.
Beer League. Which one's that one?
Have you seen Anchorman?
Meow.
No,
Yes,
wait.
I've
What
seen
about? Hold on,
Anchorman.
before you jump. Bro, have you seen the Beer League one?
Which one's Beer League?
It's the same guys that did Super Troopers.
Put it on there. Put that on there, please.
That's Sanchez's big
Yeah.
The Brave Little Toaster. Did we already talk about that one?
great little toaster.
Oh, please,
do
please,
the
Beer
bang,
League.
bang, bang, tutti frutti. Oh, way.
Harold and Kumar go to White Castle.
No,
I've seen that one.
No.
dumb. The only good part of that movie is the Neil Patrick Harris part.
I just thought about the same thing. That's the only good part of that movie.
Oh man, the inbreds.
Yeah.
Dumb.
That part is dope.
That's right. Christopher Maloney is one of the hicks in the middle of nowhere. That was pretty funny. Ugh,
They're
no.
all into everything extreme. Hillbillies. And he's like, hey man, is that pterodactyl? Oh. Have you seen Dude, Where's My Car?
Oh, classic.
Oh, I haven't.
I think I've only seen it the one time.
That's a classic right there.
I lost like 4 brain cells doing it.
Jose. Come on, Jose. Put that in there.
What
Wait,
about
have you seen
American
Waiting?
Pie?
Jose, have you seen Waiting?
Waiting.
Yes, I have.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
wait. Yes.
So good.
Waiting.
Waiting's good.
Put it on
Waiting
there.
so good.
If you've ever worked in food.
Jose has worked in food.
I've worked in a restaurant. I've worked.
Oh, dude, you got to see Waiting then.
Seen it.
Oh, sorry. I missed that part.
Why am I still waiting for the hating?
What
Sorry.
the hell?
The fuck was that, dude?
Hey, this is
Did you
a
ever
family
pull out
show.
Abraham Lincoln, honey?
The
Yeah,
Abraham
this is a
Lincoln.
family show talking shit.
You ever pull the chicken wing?
No, I did the goat.
The goat. That's right. I was done the goat. He pulled the goat off.
And the log.
Revenge of the Nerds. Have you seen Revenge of the Nerds?
Ooh, yes, but put it on there.
That movie hasn't really, I don't know. I saw
I give it a
recently.
10 out of 10 because of the boobies alone.
That's only, yeah.
Who are you kidding? We'll just rate it right now without watching it. Done.
Dick McFarlane cover.
If we talk about that, I'm gonna put Porky's on there. Shoot.
Jose, have you seen Porky's?
No,
Have you seen The Last American Virgin?
That's a no.
no.
Have you seen
Spaceballs.
Caddyshack?
Oh,
Caddyshack,
Caddyshack is so good.
Yes,
Who
What
stepped
about
on it?
Ghostbusters?
yes.
We haven't watched
Ghostbusters would be dope to put on here, dude.
Ghostbusters Afterlife?
Oh no.
That's not old enough.
Josh rants.
Hey Liz, you got a thumb?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Those
Josh was voting for me. I just figured it was a done deal.
Did you watch Gremlins, Jose?
No.
You've never watched Gremlins?
No.
Oh my gosh, dude, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? People?
God, whose friend is this?
Gremlins. It's on.
Those all came out before he was born.
Have you seen Die Hard?
Oh, geez, he's never seen Die Hard.
You've never
Hey,
seen
for
Die
real,
Hard?
You never seen Die Hard?
That's
What?
a Christmas
Fuck.
movie.
What?
Hey, yeah, well, actually, that's a Christmas movie. That you should put that on Christmas, though.
Yeah, well, fucking.
Gremlins, Die
coming.
Hard.
Damn, I
Gremlins
can't believe I've never
and-
seen Die Hard.
I saw the parody on X videos. Get Hard. It was highly rated. They said they did a great interpretation or a great parody of it. So I feel like I have seen it.
Oh my goodness.
It's that one bald dude that's in everything. I forgot his name.
Johnny Sins.
No, the other one. And I swear to
Johnny
God, if you
Sins.
oh my
Hey,
God.
you see Mallrats, right?
Yes, Kevin Smith, yeah.
Have you seen Clerks?
Yes. Seen it with you.
I showed him Star Wars. He never had seen Star Wars either.
What?
Wow.
Want
I'm
to do
always
Spaceballs?
surprised.
Have you seen Spaceballs?
Yes, I have.
How many more empty spaces?
We got
Have
two
you
left.
seen Blazing Saddles, Jose?
I have not. Put that on there.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Dude. And that was the show that got us canceled.
Nope.
One more.
Have you seen Harry Potter, Jose?
No, I haven't.
Oh, hey, Jose, have you seen Tango and Cash?
We
Yeah,
saw
that-
that.
We saw
I
fuck
know,
you,
I
fucking guy.
Harry Potter on for him.
That was pretty good. Yes, that was pretty good.
You want to put Harry Potter, Jose?
No.
I think we should vote it in.
I voted. My thumbs up right
You guys are jerks.
Pretty good movie.
Sanchez had a thumb showing, he'd be putting it up.
here.
Expected to be as good as it was. I just recently watched it.
we saw two straight movies. Which one was it?
I'm assuming that the Harry Potter one, it's the first one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there's like 7 of them. So
Yeah, well, we're gonna watch
Like
like
one
a
of
I haven't seen the last two of
We
them.
can go straight into 7 part 2.
yeah.
The boy who came to die.
Like, what's going on?
Why does that dude want to kill him so bad?
Why is he so hard to kill?
Wheels
Wow.
full.
Wheels full.
Yeah, nah.
Let's
Yeah,
spin
spin
it.
it.
I just noticed that. What happened to Lego?
Jesus.
He hasn't been here the whole time. What do we got there, Jose?
This is a Jack Kirby Iron Man cover.
Beautiful. Hey, hey, can you put them on bigger screen so we can see it? The comics, Nathan.
These are going to be going on Whatnot in
Por
case you
favor.
guys are interested.
I just got a She-Hulk #1 into the store today,
Did you really?
Ooh.
How much?
but it's
How
in really
much?
bad. It's not in the best condition.
Oh,
It was in somebody's.
Early.
oh, that's beautiful right there.
What number
bro.
is that?
This is number 20.
Ooh, okay.
So early. Ooh, another early one. The movie.
The
Damn,
movie.
Damn.
That's some fire right there.
We have the collected editions of first Deadpool and Cable.
Oh, you know I'm gonna go for that.
We have a bunch of McFarlane covers.
Let's see him. Show them off.
Wait, let me
We got
see.
some
Commercial.
Eric Larson. We have the
Oh,
Christmas
damn.
one.
Serious? What
Yeah.
else?
We have a JRJR cover.
Nice.
We got an Eric Larson cover.
Oh, I like that one.
That's a nice one.
Larson's so good.
Daredevil. Oh, dude. That's McFarlane.
McFarlane.
That was nice.
This is, don't know who this is, but you got Punisher. Another Eric Larson.
I love Eric Larson's work.
Yeah, dude.
He's so underrated.
Yeah, and there's gonna be a bunch of
John, we did film Late to the Party.
we're gonna have a bunch of 15-cent books too. Hold on, I'm trying to pull them up. So in case anybody's interested in trying to get stuff into their collection for Silver Age and beyond that, tomorrow's going to be a great opportunity. I have, I think I was trying to win this one on Liz's and Ray's comic shop, whatnot, and I already had it.
Oh yeah. Hey, did you get your note in the mail about your books from Whatnot?
Yes. We have a Captain America Annual #3. This is also, I believe, a Jack Kirby cover. Very early.
Oh, nice.
It's a nice one.
Yeah. Dude, this one's beautiful. So I was mentioning earlier, we got some Nazis. You can't see it, it's half a patch, but Sergeant Fury and the Howling Commandos going up. More Nick
Damn,
Fury.
dude, you just went on a tear of buying books.
We got some early Conans, 35-cent Conans.
Well, you got all this at Whatnot or what?
Yeah, I've been buying lots up.
Me and us three, we did pretty good yesterday. Those Funko Pops are killers. Nate.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, right on.
Josh wanted us to film with the backdrop of all the pops in the background in honor of Nick.
There's a market for double-sided dildos too that I don't want no part of.
I'm just saying, Nate.
I'd love to see those being used.
We sold and we got it went good.
Right on.
We got a Joker #1 that came in.
Let me see.
Can we see that?
It's not in the best condition. It's probably a 6.
Claim.
Which one is it? Let me see.
It's already been claimed.
Oh, that one's cool.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, but it's been claimed.
And we got #4 too.
Claim. Wait, I think I may have that one.
I was saying 15 centers, but they're actually 20. This is a early Hulk. This is Hulk.
Ooh.
173.
Wait, Jose. We're seeing some stuff right here.
That's First Man Bat.
Yep.
Claim
Wait,
Man
where?
Bat. Never mind. It's already been claimed. Claim pervert Batman trying to get this family.
It's Batman 239. These are not in the best condition though. Unfortunately.
Yeah, neither are these.
And that She-Hulk one.
Where's that She-Hulk?
I have to look at it again. It might not be. I think it's the Whitman because it's got the diamond 40 center.
Hulk 134. This is a 15 center.
Oh, that's a nice cover.
Yep. In the shadow of the golem.
Man, you went crazy on buying books, huh, bro.
From Lord of the Rings Golem?
Oh yeah. Justice League #18, 12 center.
SOS.
Those are kind of hard to sell.
Yeah. Hard to sell?
Yeah. GLA's always been a little bit hard to sell.
Hard.
Yeah.
It was kept in a garage. So like the back of it, it's got like a
Oof.
Oh.
got the closed tear and stuff for it.
Oof.
But then this Batman, like it's the didn't have them bagged and boarded. And it got like a tap.
It's like a moth started eating at it.
It's But
damn.
Peter Parker #1.
Ooh, that one's nice.
but
That's a
it
nice
has
one.
a little fade like right here. I think there's like a sticker or something across it. Like it's not tacky, but
Oh, you
it's
got
like,
Kanto, Jose?
Yeah. This is the New York Comic Con exclusive Virgin variant.
I love Kanto.
I want to read that when it's a hardcover.
It is.
Already?
Yeah, Liz can get it for you.
Okay.
Yeah, a bunch of these are gonna be going up on Whatnot. So
We got a bunch of like the 12-cent like gold key Jetsons and Huckleberry. I got a 10-cent Huckleberry Hound and like a whole bunch of like the Disney gold keys that came in. So
Nice.
they were like, it's weird, like because there was like a box and then it did none of them were back and boarded. But there was like all these like magazines and other things that were like stacked on top of them. And I was just like,
How?
Trading. Let's spin that wheel.
my heart.
Spin that wheel.
Spin it.
Jose, after this, shoot a preview video for Whatnot so we could have it up.
first scratch, Fantastic Four, number 185.
I forgot
Playing.
to do that today too.
That's a nice spin. Hey, was that a
Old school.
Old
Was that the real
school.
spin or
You're
what?
my boy, Blue.
Wait, was that a real spin or was that a practice spin?
That was a real spin.
Old school, I'm down.
No, it's a real spin. It's like in The Price is Right. It has to go around at least one time to count.
That's a great movie though.
We're watching Old School.
Yay.
Oh my gosh. You're just mad because yours didn't get picked.
I like when Blue dies.
You ruined the movie for Jose. He has
Yeah, guy. Midnight Sun still sealed.
Well, he'll like when Blue dies too.
Damn, dude, you got a lot of fucking books.
Damn, bro. You spent your
They're
whole
still
check or
going?
what?
So you're buying them from Whatnot so you can go and sell them on Whatnot?
Yeah, I'm just buying them as lots.
Nah, it was a practice spin. Spin again. Spin again. Spin again. The fans are chanting at it. You gotta spin it again, bro.
Damn. Hey, Nate. The fans are saying spin again.
Are you gonna watch the movie too, Steve?
If it was old school, yeah, I would have watched it. Yeah, why not?
If it's old school?
No, I'm
you
saying
want me to
I
spin
don't
it so
care
you
that
don't
they're-
have to watch it?
No, I'm saying there's a lot of good movies there. I'll watch it. I'll watch the next one with you guys.
You ready to get on screen and talk about buckets?
He said spin it hard.
Spin the baby hard. There we go.
go.
I'm gonna laugh if it's Old School. That means you gotta do a tattoo.
Super Troopers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think that's a
Best out
downgrade,
of
bro.
three.
I think we should spin the wheel again now.
Jeez Louise, you
Yeah,
guys.
one more
I'm
time.
just kidding.
Yeah.
That was a good
I don't
spin.
care. I don't think Meow Nate likes this meow.
Waiting.
Waiting. Jose's
All
already
Those
seen
are
it.
good picks.
Oh, so you already seen this movie.
It's all right. I can talk about it.
All right, this is for
They're
real
all
one or
been
what?
good movies. They've all been good movies.
Fuck Zoolander. Ghostbusters.
No,
We're
just,
doing waiting. No, Israel's all nah. Nate is stopping it on purpose now. Super Troopers. Now these spins are Super Troopers again.
hey, how's that?
Yeah,
Hey,
I think
that,
Three times.
wait a minute, that wheel's
Troopers.
just stopping the same portion of it.
I think it's
That
supposed to be Super Troopers.
So it's Super Troopers, right?
Revenge
What
of
is
the Nerds.
Are we
Jesus,
just going
how
down
many
the list now?
How many times are we spinning this? What are we watching?
Blazing Saddles.
It's a setup, Israel's saying.
Zoolander.
Zoolander. There we go.
No, dude. I mean,
Jose
I don't
hasn't seen
Yeah.
Zoolander.
I think we're gonna have to like abscond with the wheel, and it's gonna have to live at somebody else's house for a while.
Super Troopers.
I think it's gonna be Super Troopers. It's been like the third
Yeah,
time.
Super Troopers landed 3 times.
All right, we're watching Super Troopers now, honey.
Okay.
Justin's just like, take me home. I'm tired.
Harry Potter.
Yay! The lone
I like
person.
that. Yay!
Super
Super
Trooper.
Troopers.
All
4
right,
times.
Super Troopers for the 4th time.
Oh fuck!
It's movie, man.
That's what you get for trying to cheat the system.
How did I cheat the system?
Littering and littering and littering.
Hey, Nate, are you in your new house or are you still in your old house?
Oh, it's gonna be a while.
Oh,
till
okay.
I'm in the garage right here.
All
You can
right,
see
kids,
Cybertron over there.
I'm out. I need to
Yeah, we gotta close up the
Need to
shop
come
and get
back.
out of here.
All
Oh,
right,
yeah.
guys.
Still on location, huh? Shit.
I know we gotta pack up and go.
All
How
right.
far do you guys live from your shop?
We're like 15 minutes, but
Oh, that's
I gotta
good.
get up. But we gotta
Today
get
we're
up.
watching Super Troopers.
We gotta get Diamond tomorrow.
Jose, do that whatnot a preview video. Start
I
listening.
will.
Israel asked you to send a link to that parody movie.
Oh yeah, and send a link to the parody movie you're talking about with that bald actor.
Oh. Already.
All
on
right,
it.
guys. You guys have a good night.
All right, guys.
Good night.
All right, guys. Take
Later.
care.
Late
Later.
night. Super Troopers.
Meow.